So if you need $1,000 right now, what would you do?
Me, honestly, I'd be flipping furniture in Kijiji. I've honestly never done it, so I can't speak to it too much, but I see, first of all, I'm going to buy furniture right now, and everything is hellish expensive, huge wait list. And additionally, there's a big desire, I think, now for a lot of like wood stuff again, which I used to have. And I know people that do it, and it's crazy the numbers. Like they'll buy an old dresser off Kijiji, and they'll take all the hardware off, sand it up, stain it, and put new hardware on from Home Depot. Spend like $40 and a day's labor on a Saturday, and they paid $50 for the dresser, and they turn around and sell it for like $300-400, and it no issue selling it. So like, I just made $200-300 on a single day on the weekend. So even if it took you 6 hours, I'm like, okay, well, you just made $30-40 an hour doing that. And that's a small way to get your first, like that's what, if you're working with a limited budget, you don't necessarily have 10 grand aside. Once you get a bit more, like I said, I'm a huge person for flipping vehicles. I think this is what it gets
back to. We talked about this before. Like, it's a grind, man. It's like, how bad do you want? People are like, oh, this guy's telling me to take home used furniture, sand it down, paint. Like, what's going on? It's like, well, how bad do you want it in this moment? And maybe this episode, these little things aren't for everyone. But the people out there like who have, zero cash and are trying to save towards a down payment, first thing I would do is I'd raid my closet. I'd raid my closet. Oh, yeah,
that's a big one for a lot of people.
Raid my wife's closet, and then I'd go over to my parents' house. I would raid their closet, and I would raid the closet of my old stuff at my parents' house, and I would liquidate it all, man. We are in such a consumer culture that everyone, I guarantee you, I could walk through anyone's apartment right now and find $1,000 easily. Oh, yeah. Right? Like
old electronics, man.
You really need all those vinyl. Like you really need all those sneakers. Like I've got, man, we had
old
to like
cell phones. These are a couple, like these are $1,000 or $2,000 to buy a new one.
Anyone that needs money, sell me BlackBerry.
I say if you need old cell phones, sell them Chandler.
Like I used to like sneakers, right? Like I have a lot of sneakers, and all of these collectibles have really come back in vogue. Be it sneakers, be it card collections, whatever. All this stuff. There's a big market for it if you're willing to put the time in. So even if I needed to like turn and burn all of my Jordans and whatever at $75 a pop, right? Boom. $1,000.
Yeah.
Right. What's over at my parents' house that my mom's saving, like, well, just in case you ever need your old snowboard. Yeah. Right. Like $50.
Yeah.
Old golf. Like there's all this stuff.
Yeah.
Someone's junk is another person's treasure. It's true. And there's so many ways now to get these to people. Facebook Marketplace, like you don't have to have a yard sale and give everything away for $5 anymore.
No, exactly. Right? If anything collectible, like you just mentioned there, Collectibles now, there's sites for all that stuff.
Totally.
When you can instantly value it, and you may be surprised. I did that with an old pair of shoes. I got $1,000 for an old pair of shoes. And it was the same thing. I put it on there. It was StockX.
Pervert on the internet.
Yeah, exactly. But like you put on StockX, and then you send it to them. They validated it, and then they sent it to the seller. But I mean, we're kind of short on time today because I got to run to an appointment. But the next thing I think we're going to talk about, and we'll start our next episode with this, is your gig jobs. The other option is nowadays, like there's Uber Eats, there's a million of these things. There's Instacart. There is money to be made on those. They're not super fun and they're not high margin. But again, if you already have a full-time job and you're not really interested in hunting online for stuff, and you're more of a person that likes to physically do actions, and you're like, I can't take on another like demolition job, let's just say, you could do a little bit of Uber Eats or a little bit of driving. I know a lot of people that will say just Uber drive Friday from like 10 till 2. And they're like, it is insane because everyone's coming out of the bars. So your margins are psycho. So it's not their full-time gig. But I've met a ton of people at those times that are like students, or they already have full-time jobs. And they're like, I come here because I'm making like $100 an hour for 4 hours. And so it's not their full-time gig. They don't need the money, but it's money.
There's no restaurants that can find staff right now. Pick up a couple shifts,
Yeah. So it's just play money in those periods. But we'll get into all those. There's a ton of other things like selling products online, ordering countertops from Alibaba and selling them to Chandler.
Seriously, man.
There's a ton of things to do.
There really is. It's a question of how bad do you want it. Like if you actually want to accumulate this in a short period of time, it is doable.
Thanks for watching that clip from the Master Keys podcast. Check out that full episode here. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, and share our podcast.
When I was broke, I had rich habits. When I was broke, I had rich habits.